Today we are going to be doing steam. I want to do a little experiment.
Oh no!
This is a lava lamp experiment, okay? So we are going to use no heat. There is no fire or heat needed, but it is going to hopefully appear like a lava lamp at the end. At home, it only takes a few simple ingredients. Now, the number one thing that I want to teach you, it only takes a few household ingredients to do, so it is something that you can do at home with mom and dad. But please make sure that a family member who is an adult is present before you try this at home, okay? You can do it in front of mom, you can do it in front of dad, you can do it with grandma or grandpa, but no little sisters or little brothers. That's not gonna quite cut it, okay? So let's make sure that we have an adult present if we're gonna try this experiment. Any experiments at home, you know you need to have mom or dad's permission and adult eyes on you. Okay, so I'm really excited about today's experiment, but we always have to make sure that we follow the scientific method. So if we're going to follow the scientific method, we need to make sure that we are going to follow the rules. So the very first thing that we need to do before we start our experiment is to hypothesize. Yes, we need to make a hypothesis about what we think is going to happen during the experiment. So for a small example, we know that our big experiment is going to kind of have a lava lamp effect, but let's go to a smaller scale experiment. Do you think that oil will mix well with water? Do you think that's true? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go and grab a piece of paper and a writing utensil. You can pause the video if you need to. Great. Do you have your pen and paper? Fabulous. I want you to write your name at the top. Make sure your name is on it. And remember at the end to put it with your stuff that's coming back to school, okay? Fabulous. Put your name on it. And then at the very top, I want you to write hypothesis number 1. I'll put it below the screen so you can copy and write that. Hypothesis number 1. Do you think that oil will mix well with water? So you want to write hypothesis 1, oil and water, okay? Then you're going to write your hypothesis underneath it. I think that oil and water will mix. I think that oil and water will not mix. Or you can make your own ideas of what could happen. I think that oil and water put together will explode. I think that oil and water put together will grow flowers. I think that oil and water together will make a love potion that will make my crush fall in love with me. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Go ahead and take this time to write your first hypothesis. Hypothesis number 1. Will oil mix with water? Oh, what's happening? So Miss Vivian's hypothesis seems to have been correct, that the oil and the water are not mixing. The water's down here, the oil is up here. Fabulous. Very cool. So after hypothesis, and you've written your hypothesis, the next thing I want you to write is the word conclusion. We did the experiment. Now it's time for us to write our conclusion. Hypothesis number 1, then your hypothesis in your own words. Then conclusion number 1 is going to be written on the screen. You can copy it. So underneath conclusion number 1, once you write that, underneath that, you're going to write a sentence or two about what actually happened. The water mixed with the oil. The water did not mix with the oil. Whatever actually happened is what you're going to write. Fabulous. Okay, now it's time for us to go over to our friends at the King of Random to find out a little bit about what they did with this experiment and see if we can copy it. Sound good? Fantastic.
Several people have recently sent us videos of people making what look like lava lamps,
Kind of,
but
yeah.
there's no wax, there's no heat source, there's not actually any light involved, but you still get the same up and down of colors flowing and bubbling, and it looks pretty cool. And it also looks very simple. The ingredients are water, cooking oil, food coloring, and an Alka-Seltzer tablet. Seems simple enough, we thought we would give it a shot. Here's the basic idea. Several people have recently sent us videos of making a sort of lava lamp using water, oil, food coloring, and an Alka-Seltzer tablet. It looked like a lot of fun, so we're gonna try it out. Seltzer is that with the sodium bicarbonate and the citric acid, when they hit water, it foams and bubbles a lot. Oil is less dense than water, so I'll pour it in and you see that it can like flow down into the water, but it then floats back up to the top.
All right, now we add a few drops of food coloring.
Now the food coloring is water-based, and so it should sink down through the oil, but I think it then has kind of a oil coating around it and it doesn't do a good job of mixing into the water. You can see that it's just kind of sitting there. Little red bubbles.
I think that's enough.
Yeah, that's plenty.
Yeah. All right, they're just kind of chilling. And an Alka-Seltzer tablet.
Ooh, it pulled a lot of red down with it as it plopped in.
Oh, but it's working.
And we're getting the bubbling volcano effect.
That's amazing. Okay, so guys, go ahead and write down another hypothesis. So hypothesis number 2, underneath your conclusion of our first experiment, the oil in the water, you're gonna write hypothesis number 2.
To try milk because it's opaque.
Ooh, so that sounds fun. So right next to hypothesis number 2, you're gonna write milk pint. Okay, this is going to represent that Kings of Random are going to use a pint glass, so a bigger container than the small wine glass that they used before, and they're going to try it with milk. So hypothesis number 2, milk and pint, okay? And then underneath that, I want you to think of what you think is going to happen when they do this experiment with milk in a larger container. And then write conclusion number 2 underneath that.
I don't know if the density difference between milk and oil is enough to make this effect work, so
we're gonna find
that's
out.
a whole separate experiment.
It's gonna be cloudy, but it's gonna separate.
I think it's bubbling the same way the water did, it just has to settle down. Whole half tablet, here goes. It's the milk. Does Alka-Seltzer react with milk? It's slower, but it does.
Bit.
So we do have these little like milk balloons raising up now.
They look like pimples.
It has yet to combine with any color. So we've just got white lava, no green lava yet.
Still neat, still neat. There we go.
All right, now we're gonna start getting green bubbles, green and white.
I love it, that's so cool.
Milk has a lot of bubble surface tension, like it forms bubbles great, as every child who's ever blown bubbles into milk through a straw has discovered.
Okay, great. Go ahead now and write your conclusion number 2 about what actually happened with the milk and the pint glass. Then I want you to move on to number 3. So just like we did with number 1 and number 2, we're going to do hypothesis 3. You're going to write vase or vase. And then conclusion number 3. Again, you're going to write a hypothesis about what's going to happen when they put this experiment into a larger vase. And then you're going to write your conclusion after you see what happens with it. Then you're going to write hypothesis number 4, aquarium. And you're going to write your hypothesis about what you think is going to happen when they try this experiment in a large container like an aquarium. And then you're going to write your conclusion number 4, what actually happened. And then Miss Vivian is going to try the experiment herself. I'm so excited!
Wow!
Well, I gotta say, that does kind of look like lava.
I'm kind of in love with it, like a lot in love with it.
I will also say though, because the light is shining from the bottom through the orange liquid, it just all looks orange. You don't see the color of bubbles up. We've poured oil into the tank with the water, but we want to let some of the bubbles settle so we can see through it just a bit better. And while we're doing that, I had another quick test I wanted to try. We've got a cup with some water dyed blue and some oil on top of it, and I want to see what this does in a vacuum. If we get the pressure low enough to the point where water would be boiling, will it bubble up through the oil? Will the oil stop that from happening? Will the oil itself bubble? I just don't know. So it's pulling all of the little bubbles out of the oil. This is actually what gave me the idea. is I thought, oh, I wish I could vacuum the whole tank to just pull those bubbles out. I can't. I don't have a seal that I can put onto it, but apparently it would work. It's pulling a lot of bubbles out. Oh, and now we're seeing some bubbles pull off of the surface, and it's like tugging on the water just a little bit. There is a, whoa, it suddenly, yes, it boils. It boils very, very excitedly. Oh boy, well, that hit a point, and I think it just gets held down by the oil until it doesn't want to get held down anymore. Okay, well, that was cool. That was really fun to see. I had no idea what the result was going to be, and I was surprised when it hit, so that's my favorite kind of experience.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Yep. Oh my gosh, that is the coolest. It's starting to mix, but it still looks so good. Good choice on the colors, Nate. Look at how cool the water looks. Ha! That one just like
It stayed so flat.
So that is what you get in a box of Alka-Seltzer once the wrapping's out. Go for it. Yes, good. Yes, this is good.
The light can't get through. It does look really cool though. Is neat.
It still looks good. Guys, if you want to make your own lava lamp at home, this is a very easy way to do it. You can use any type of oil, a little bit of water, a little bit of food coloring, and an Alka-Seltzer tablet. It is a lot of fun.
Okay guys, it's time for us to try it. I'm here with Mr. Tim. He's gonna help me out. He's gonna do his own. I'm gonna do my own. We have our food coloring right here. Mr. Tim, what color would you like your lava lamp to be today?
Purple.
Purple! Mr. Tim?
It's red and blue.
Well, red and blue are the two primary colors that make purple. Yes, correct. Very good. Very smart, Mr. Tim. This is Mr. Tim's cup, and this is Miss Vivian's cup. Go ahead and put your droplets into the water and the oil. One drop at a time. Yep. Yep. However you want to do it. Nope. You can see them kind of falling down there. Like if I put my hand behind it, you can see a little better. So he's put the blue, and now he's putting the red. Let's see. Oh, his is kind of pushing through already. Okay, so we've added our colors. Now we're going to take our Alka-Seltzer tablet, and we are going to break it up because we have little glasses. Right here, you can have some of mine. He wants to break his own. You can break your own, Mr. Tim. He's very excited. Very cool. Okay, so then here's the moment of truth. I'm going to backlight it with my phone so you can see what's happening. And we're going to drop in 3, 2, 1. See that? Is anything happening? Oh no, no, Mr. Tim, no! Okay, I'm gonna show you guys really up close what's happening over here. How cool is that? Oh, so cool. Cheers, sir, cheers. Should I drink it? No! Awesome! Alright, they almost look good enough to drink. What do you think, Mr. Tim? No! Alright, now, let's try it one more time in bigger glasses. Are you ready, Mr. Tim? So we're gonna pour the water first. Mr. Tim is gonna pour the oil. Okay. Drop, 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 drop. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. Okay, put a couple more in. Drop the whole thing in this time, I think. Oh! How cool is that? Say thank you, Mr. Tim. Thank you